a sermon today. Those of you on Facebook, in case I forget to actually post it in an official post, we have canceled our annual Thanksgiving meal on the 22nd at 6 p.m. It's just too difficult to spread out properly. Down in the basement where we normally have these meals in Knoxville with everybody bringing into, it's just too hard to make sure that we're properly safe enough for everybody, and so we've decided and cancel that meal and hopefully get everybody healthy enough to do our Christmas celebration in just about a month. So we're going to go into the book of Luke, chapter 21. We're going to start at verse 1. And it's probably one of the most infamous stories about how you should give to the poor, or just how you should give at all. It's one of the most famous stories. And it starts at verse 21. Chapter 21, verse 1. Luke 21, verse 1. As he looked up, Jesus saw the rich putting their gifts into the temple treasury. He also saw a poor widow put her 2 very small copper coins. I tell you the truth, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all the others. All these people gave their gifts out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put all that she had. All she had to live on. And so here we are, Jesus looking to this poor woman who only gave him chump change, right? 2 pennies, 2 quarters. And says she's given more than the wealthiest people here. She's given more out of her poverty than you have out of your wealth. And it's very interesting because a lot of ministers, they take this and they immediately say you should be willing to give everything up. Give all your money to the church, right? Historically speaking, that's the way a lot of people read this. Give all your money to the poor. Give all your money to the church and help for God's glory. But it kind of piggybacks on what we have on one of our Wednesday night lessons. How many of us would give someone the shirt off our back? And how many of us would give someone the shirt off our back? There's a difference. Both are very kind gestures. Both still help the person you're giving the shirt to, right? Both still can be used for the glory of God, but man, is it a much more sacrifice to give your own shirt when you don't have nothing else to wear. I was trying to find this morning, there's a young YouTuber that he looks to be my age, maybe younger. But he does a lot of what he calls social experiments. I couldn't find his name, so that if anyone knows who I'm talking about, you may see this video. What he did is he set up a camera. He was testing the stereotype that you give a poor man money, all he'll do is turn around and buy more drugs or alcohol or something like that. And so he saw this poor man sleeping on the park bench, and he walks up very quietly and just puts a couple $100 in his little bag he had there, and walks away. And they fast forward through the video because he was sleeping for a while. And he wakes up and he grabs stuff and looks down and he sees the green, he sees the cash. He looks around and you see the elation on this man's face. He gets up and he very hurriedly goes away and says, all right, let's follow him. And they follow him all through the street. And you know where he goes? Target. He bought himself a bunch of pillows. And then he came back to that same park bench. So I'm guessing this is where this guy sleeps a lot. Because he went back to the exact same park bench. And you could tell he was just so excited. And in fact, I think he even bought himself a little bit of food. But it wasn't much. And all he had was these really nice blankets and a really nice pillow. They were real fluffy, comfortable pillows too. I mean, he bought some good stuff with it. And so this guy goes, I'm going to experiment a little more. And so he's walking up to the park pretending to be on the phone. And he sits down and he's pretending like he's on the phone with his wife. And his wife's telling him about this really expensive prescription drug their daughter needs for the illness she has. And it ends up being almost precisely how much money this guy's got. I'm not sure if he told you the amount. But he's a pretty good actor. And he shares with him, my daughter really needs this medicine, I don't know what to do. You know what this poor man says? He says, well, hold on a minute. Are you going to be here? Yeah, man, I'm willing to wait a few minutes, but just wait. And so he gathers up all his stuff. And you see him walk away, and I'm thinking you can see him pull out his receipt, and he's looking at it. And he goes back to Target and comes back and says, here, your daughter needs it more than I. A homeless man. Immediately, this gentleman who's doing this social experiment, gets tears in his eyes, and I don't know if he breaks down crying, but he's pretty close, and he explains to him what's going on. He says, I want to say thank you so much for being so precious. And he hands him a lot more money than what he originally did as a thank you for his generosity. There's a perfect, real-life example of what Jesus is talking about this little. This man gave up literally everything he had. Of value, anyway. Clothes or wrapping, he couldn't have sold them for anything. The only thing he had of value was a nice set of pillows, still in their plastic bags, and blankets. And he went back and turned them in and handed that guy the money to help him out. It is much easier for someone like that to get to the kingdom of heaven than a rich man. It says it's much easier for a poor to get to heaven than a rich man. It's easier for them to get through the eye of a needle. Now, some of us misinterpret that scripture as a needle on a sewing. No, there's actually a path called the eye of the needle, where camels often went through it. There's an overarching rock formation that you have to get your camel to crawl under to get through. It's extremely difficult to get a camel to do anything you want to do it, much less get on its knees and crawl underneath this structure. What Jesus is stressing here is that when you give out of your wealth, it's easy. It's easy to give when you have money. It's hard to give when you have nothing. And yet it seems like the people who are the poorest of us are willing to give up the most valuable. The man on the park bench gave up everything he had of value. A stranger whose kid needs medicine. This woman gave everything she had of value in order to make sure it helped those who are less fortunate than her. And you think, how could they be less fortunate? Description of the story, the man was talking with the YouTuber. He said, look, I've lived like this for a long time. I know I'll be fine. I can get back. He said, so I just wanted to try to help somebody that nobody ever has to help. Finally, I'm in a position to do it. So the question is, off your back when you don't have any. Okay? So it might be a blessing that I just keep it on. But this widow, we often read this, and yes, we should be willing to give everything to God. That's the overarching point. But Jesus is always way more deep than the overarching point. I've told this many a time. You can take some of his parables, and I could literally make 5 or 6 sermons off of the parable of the wedding banquet. There's so many different points of views. And I'm sure another minister or some of you can take that same lesson and write even different. Because Jesus isn't about overarching. That's the simple. That's the Sunday school lesson. That's what your child understands. And then as you grow up as an adult, Jesus is all about not only your actions, but your truth. Our scripture reading this morning says we should be giving out of truth and action. This morning in Sunday school, that's what it said, right? Truth and action. And so we were all swapping stories of these moments where people, it seems like they have like camouflage on, and as soon as you hit the party spot, it's, hey, y'all have any money? I need help. And you're like, how did I not run over you when I was parking? I was so scared. And then at the end of the lesson, someone said, but we did do the action part. And I said, yes, but did you do the truth part? Did you give because you were afraid you were going to get hurt? Or did you give because you truthfully wish to help someone? And that's only a question you and God can answer. I can't answer that for you. I'm not judging anyone in those situations. It's a simple question for you to reflect on. Truth and action is what Jesus is looking for. And so Jesus looks for the wealthy people. And they're giving, and he's not saying that it's bad. He said she gave more. You catch that, right? So many people look at this and say, rich people, yeah, they give, but it's not that great. That's not what Jesus is saying. That money is still going to be poor. That money is still going to benefit the temple. That money is still going to go and do God's work. That's not what Jesus wasn't condemning them. He was saying that she gave more because those two little coins were far more valuable to her than to anyone else. And she still gave them up. Those pillows and blankets had to be worth their weight in gold to that homeless man, don't you think? Especially how cold nights can get. Even in your warmest of climates, the nights can get pretty cold. They had to be worth way more to him than any amount of money that he was given. And he gave them up to help someone else. He didn't fear about tomorrow. He says, hey, I'm living my life. I'm going to get through it. I've been through all this. I can deal without pillow. You go ahead and take this. This woman says, hey, I've lived my life. Yes, I'm a widow. Yes, I don't have any money. And especially, we really have to stress how important it is for a widow back then to give money. Because they were only given so much after your husband's death. Most men won't remarry you because you're not a virgin. And you're not allowed to have property. You're not allowed to make your own money. Very, very few cases were women allowed that. And so you had to live off of what was left. And if your husband died and you were really young, that could be an extremely hard fought battle. The money's going to run out. You're not allowed to own property because you're on food. So now you only have this small amount. And so she gives her only 2 coins, and he says, look how much she's given. See, we don't think about it as much today because we have widows in today's world that can go out and earn your own money. You can own your own business. You starved. Her sacrifice was just as much, if not more, than the gentleman from Parthenia. At least he knew how to live the way he was living. She gave her last 2 pieces of corn to buy food with. And Jesus says, I tell you the truth, she has given more. Because in truth, she gave all she had. In truth, he gave everything that was of value. In truth, they just wanted to help. Not because society expects them. It always seems funny. Everybody who gets rich and famous, right? They always start a charity, don't they? I mean, almost every celebrity out there starts a charity or gets big into charities. And look at all this money I'm raising for charity. Still living like a $10 million home. You raised $100,000 over here. Good job. You gave it out of your wealth. It wasn't a genuine sacrifice. Not that wealth can't be used. We're just, are we really sacrificing anything? I use this analogy. It's been a couple of years. I think I gave a sermon right before we did our first 3 yard sale. You go and buy yourself a new cow, and you go, yeah, that fiber's still in on there. I might be able to use that. And we go and we give it to them, and yeah, I gave them a couch. Your trash. What else were you going to do with it to throw it away? You gave them a couch, but you had another one. Go. You got the fresh and clean pressed one. They get the one with all your food crumbs. Or in our case, it's gum. In my house, it's gum. What are we giving out of? Are we giving out of our wealth? Are we giving out of our poverty? Are we truly sacrificing for God? Or are we just doing what's expected by society? That is what this lesson is about this widow. She gave out of her poverty. And that's something Jesus said. It's not that, oh, look, she gave everything. He said she gave out of her poverty. That's what the scripture says. That's what he's stressing. That she gave, even though she didn't have a lot to give. These other people have a lot to give, and they still gave, and it's still good. It's not bad. It's just, where is the truth? Is the truth that if you don't have 5 shirts at home, you still get your shirt? Or is the truth, well, you know, I need to get a little bit of a tan anyways. Or in today's weather, well, I got plenty of insulation, you need to shirt more than me. And that's a question only you and God and your prayer life can answer. I can't answer for you. I've said it many times. I don't ask these questions today. I ask these questions to get you to think and to reflect and to try to grow with God. None of these come from a judgmental point of view, and very rarely does Jesus ever come. He's just saying, look, I tell you the truth. He didn't say the people who were rich were bad. He didn't say it was evil. He just said, I tell you the truth, she gave me. I want to stress that so much that you understand the intentions of this story. It's about giving no matter where you are in life. If you're rich, you should give. If you're middle class, you should give. If you're poor, you should give. And every time you should give, you should feel it. It should be a genuine sacrifice. I remember just a couple weeks ago, and it was one of those months, you know, everything seemed to go wrong financially. We didn't have a whole lot, and I had and I remember thinking, I got just enough cash to get my lunch today. And I remember we went somewhere, and they were taking up donations. I don't know why, but I felt it's not like I can't go without, you know. And then I go out and I put somebody's gas and they take me $20. So there you go. God's grace is always with us. And God will never not reward you, either in heaven or here on this earth, without you doing His will. He will always, and it's hard for us to see. It's hard for us to give when we're poor because we're thinking about tomorrow. Right? We're thinking about how am I going to pay my money? How am I going to pay my bills? I know I should give. But what does Jesus say in the Sermon about the Mount? It's often called in your Bible, a little asterisk called the cure for anxiety. Do not worry about tomorrow. Worry about today and what God can do. So as we go home today and we, go back into this crazy world of COVID. We go back into this crazy world of whatever the heck's going on in Washington. We go back into this crazy world of everybody saying you to reflect and think. Are you like the wealthy who give out of their wealth? Or are you like the poor who give out of their poverty? Are you willing to give your shirt if you have 5 more? Or are you willing to give your shirt despite you don't have those 5? That's something for you to find out through your walk with Christ. So as we go to our invitation hymn, we'll open up the altar with a prayer. If you'd like to come forward to the church, be more than happy to do so. Our invitation hymn is I Gave My Life for Thee. It is hymn number 453. We ask you to stand and sing verses 1 and 4.